Have you ever been to see a movie simply because it sounded like it appealed to you, even if everyone else said it was terrible? That was the reason I saw Transcendence, a cyberpunk, in air quotes, thriller that attempts to have its eyes set on being an incredibly smart and thoughtful approach on AI and the nature of humanity, but fails so spectacularly that it can barely even be measured by a scale of failure. Johnny Depp stars as a scientist who gets assassinated by an anti-technology extremist group with a special bullet laced by cancer. No, I am not making this up. Instead of allowing him to die, his girlfriend, played by Rebecca Hall, uploads his personality into their pet AI and tries to get it back, essentially causing the singularity with the ease of flipping a goddamn switch, but we'll get to that later. His best friend Paul Bettany is worried that this isn't actually dead Depp, but just a computer taking his memories and making himself look like dead Depp. This makes no sense, but we've got a lot to cover, so again, I'll get back to it later. Soon enough, Depp Computer is in the internet, is transforming a small ghost town into a thriving technology base, while Bethany is getting tortured by the anti-AI group that was seen earlier. The weird thing is that the film expects us to side with Rift, the extremists, while at the same time supporting the scientists for all the good they're doing. The film flits back and forth between viewpoints like Nancy Grace on cocaine. My main problem with Transcendence can be metaphorically summed up by their very title. Transcendence refers to the singularity. That's it. They changed the name simply because it sounds cooler, and that can easily represent the whole film. It's a collection of age-old sci-fi ideas wrapped in a thin layer of modern updates to present the shallow illusion that it's something new, and given the response to this movie thus far, nobody is falling for it. Transcendence made me more angry than any other film this year and is comfortably sitting at the top of the shit list of a fairly decent 2014 so far. In fact, the last sci-fi film that made me this angry was Prometheus, and while I don't hate this film as much as that film, as it doesn't shit all over one of my favourite films, but on the other hand, it does shit all over one of my favourite subjects, AI. This is such a great subject for sci-fi films that it's infuriating to see it done so badly. Deus Ex did it better than this, Her did it better than this, fucking Blade Runner did it better than this, and I don't even like Blade Runner! Transcendence fails on the base level in that its plot simply does not hold up even as you watch it. Why does Rift hate technology? Because they just do. Why does Paul Bettany side with them in the end? No idea. Why would a new AI spawn from Dr. Scissorhands' memories? Where did it even come from? How does that even happen? It must be from something. It doesn't just materialize out of nowhere. I have no clue about any of this because the film's too busy wallowing in its own pretension to bother answering any of the questions its plot sets up. The equivalent of this film would be some dumbass on an internet forum who's arguing a political point when its only frame of reference is a badly written Guardian article. You know he's stupid and he doesn't know what he's talking about, but somehow he manages to hit all of your pressure points to irritate you enough and to make you reply and get even more pissed off. Transcendence made me angry, annoyed, and confused in equal measure, and it's not only one of the worst sci-fi films at least in the last year, but it's also the worst film to come out in the first quarter of 2013. Congratulations, Transcendence, you're officially worse than fucking Vampire Academy.